honestly, there are a lot of good women out there. But that doesn't mean she's going to be good for you. And the reality is that a lot of men struggle with picking the right woman. And I'm going to help you today and break down the 7 keys or the 7 things you need to look for when you're going to choose that woman who's for you. My name is Stephan Labossiere, aka Stephan Speaks, back with another dating and relationship advice video for men. And like I said, we're going to be talking about the 7 keys to picking the right woman. Before we begin, as always, be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and comment below. Also hit that notification button, all right? But anyways, like I said, we're talking about picking the right woman. And the reality is this: in all my years of doing coaching and talking about relationships, I really believe that a problem that men are facing is that they do not know how to choose the right woman or choose the right wife. And that there's a lot of negative rhetoric out there. There's a lot of negative perceptions that are being passed around saying women are like this and women are like that. And I'm not saying there's no validity to anything that's being said. However, I will say that what's being overlooked is that in most cases, the man simply chose the wrong woman. And there are key factors that men are overlooking and not being mindful of, because unfortunately, as men, I feel like a lot of us are just taught that once we find this woman that we quote unquote fall in love with, or we just become so enamored with, we get locked into making sure that, like, pouring into her, making sure that she knows we love her, we want to be with her. And there's nothing wrong with that to a certain extent. But many men do it to the point that they become blind to the fact that she's not really reciprocating, or she's not bringing forth the things you need to be happy in the long run, that you're going to need to have a successful relationship with her. We are essentially overlooking her red flags because you're so blinded by your desire or infatuation with her. Well, this needs to change. And so again, I'm going to help you, and we're going to lay this out. So let's get to it. Number 1, she needs to respect you. So it's important as a man that very early on in the dating phase, all right, and as we progress to relationships, that you establish a level of respect between you and this woman, all right? And that you are being mindful and paying close attention to her level of respect for you, all right? This can be in how she speaks to you, if she's even willing to sit down and listen to you, not as far as like you just being a dictator, but just listen, hear you out, allow you to speak, okay? How she presents you to family and friends, how she establishes boundaries with whether it be exes or other men, things of this nature, because all of those things play into showing you what kind of respect she has for you. And you've got to not fall into the trap of a woman's ability. When I say a woman's ability, again, this is not to say all women, but there are women who are like this. They're able to basically turn the tables on you and make the issue about you rather than them. It's almost like I've had situations where one time a guy was, at this point, he was already in a relationship with her, and this woman had exes, all right, that she was friends with all of them. And it's one thing, it's already a problem to a certain extent to be friends with all your exes. But again, there was no boundaries in that situation. And now when he tried to call it out, it's, oh, you're insecure, what's wrong with you, blah, 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 blah. And it's like, no, we're not playing that game here. Either you respect me enough to establish these boundaries and to eliminate these issues, or you're done. Get out of here. It's not going to work. Like, why are we sitting here trying to compromise on an issue that clearly shows she does not respect you? All right. So we've got to, again, be aware of this early on. And I have to say this, you got to be willing to check her. Now, listen, when I say that, I don't mean nothing abusive. I don't mean nothing's going to land you in jail or anything like that. All right. So do not take my words the wrong way. But yes, you have to respectfully check a woman once you see she has crossed the line of disrespect. And that simply means assertively letting her know this is not going to be tolerated and entertained. Again, you don't have to get disrespectful. You damn sure better not get abusive. We don't condone that here. But you do in a respectful manner, have to draw the line right there. And if she does not honor and respect that, let her go. Do not allow her to think it is okay to keep crossing that line, because then it's over for you. And if she doesn't respect you, she will never truly love you. You will never have the relationship that you're looking for, and it's going to be a setup for disaster every single time. Second on this list is you need to be able to talk to her. Now, here's a huge one, because so many men, from what I have seen, overlook this issue. And there's various reasons why, as men, we do this. One of the big reasons is that there's been a fear because of previous experience where men feel like if they open up to a woman, she's going to eventually throw it back in his face and essentially use his vulnerable moment against him. All right. And does this happen? It absolutely does. It happens all the time. But what I would argue to you as a man is, do not stray away from that because of the fear that she's going to use it against you. Use it as a tool to expose, is this a woman I can trust and be vulnerable with? So essentially, we have to own, as men, own how we feel, own our vulnerable moments. If I'm having a moment of weakness, man, that's what it is. You know what I'm saying? And if you're going to be my woman, you got to be able to know how to best handle me in that situation and not throw it back in my face later. But I can't see if you're capable of that if I keep holding back. So if anything, I'm going to let things out. I'm going to be open and transparent, because now I can see, how do you handle it? And then from that point on, are you going to weaponize it or not? And then when I can see that you will, all right, done. Now listen, I always say, the first time someone does something, I'm not going to say X amount right there. In that moment, I would argue you address it, you correct them, and you let them know, don't ever let that happen again, or I will be gone. Because we don't do that here. You know what I'm saying? But so you give an opportunity for correction. After that, if it continues to happen, absolutely you're done. But the point is, you've got to be willing to be open if you're going to see how she can handle it. And the reason why this is so important is because, as a man, if your desire, or at least if you're open to the possibility of marriage, okay, you got to consider, this is a woman that I'm going to potentially spend my life with. If you can't talk to her, what kind of relationship is that going to be? How healthy will that be when you cannot open up to the woman you're supposed to be able to open up to? So we've got to establish communication very early on in the relationship and establish or see if she can be someone that we can open up to like that. We cannot be fearful of, again, it being thrown in our face. We just have to live in our truth, so to speak, and then let the chips fall where they may, and then handle it accordingly when that situation comes, if it does come. So again, make sure you're able to talk to her, because a lot of the men who are in miserable relationships or ended up in miserable divorces had a relationship that they could not talk to that woman. There was no healthy communication there, and that played a huge role in the deterioration of their relationship, as well as the setting up a failure in their relationship. So now let's get to number 3. And before I mention number 3, real quick, be sure to get your copy of the book, He Who Finds a Wife. I don't have it with me today, but listen, click the link in the description or in the comments section, or go to hewhofinds.com. Men, you're going to find this very helpful. Check it out. Get your copy. So anyways, let's get to number 3. And number 3 is, she brings you peace, not stress. All right. So again, this may seem like common sense, but common sense ain't always so common. And the reality is that I see thousands of men who are so caught up in this woman that they're ignoring the fact that she stresses you the hell out. All right. Maybe she's just so damn fine that you try to make excuses for her, or maybe because, again, you've fallen so deep into this situation, you don't know how to pull out, even though it's toxic. I mean, listen, there are men right now who are not only in a situation where this woman stresses them out, there are men in abusive relationships, and it may be you, all right? Abusive verbally, abusive physically, all right? And this is a problem. There's a lot of support out there for women, and I wish I should have done some research before I did this, as far as if there's any hotline for men as well. I would say check out the National Domestic Abuse Hotline. I believe they tend to men and women. Definitely look into that. Google it if you are a man in that situation, because I understand how a lot of men struggle to be forthcoming about that. It's not the easiest thing to admit. Just know that if you are in that situation, seek out the assistance you need. But again, getting back to the original point here, you've got to make sure this woman brings you peace and not stress. And the reality is that you got to take a step back. Many of you are doing so much for that woman that you're not realizing she does nothing for you. And so you got to be able to say to yourself, okay, how does she pour into my life? How does she make things easier for me? How does she remove any burdens off of my back? You know what I'm saying? How does she put a smile on my face? It can't just be about her. Yes, I want you to pour into her as well. Yes, I want you to make sure you are embracing her needs. But she has to do the same for you. And again, she has to be willing to bring you peace. So bringing you peace is not just about pouring into your needs and desires. It's about learning how not to make a situation stressful when it doesn't have to be. Learning how to manage yourself in a way that isn't, again, toxic and unhealthy. Can she discuss things without arguing about it? You know what I'm saying? Can she bring things to your attention without a negative attitude? There's a lot of you dealing with women who can't do that, who simply are too damaged from previous relationships that they have brought in a huge level of toxicity into your relationship with her, or even into the dating process with her. And some of you may be attached because you done had sex with the girl. Maybe she does some things that you like sexually, and now you attached to that. But she's driving you crazy, and you're miserable. And it ain't worth it. The sex ain't worth it. Her beauty ain't worth it. Whatever the hell it is that keeps you attached is not worth it. So again, if we're going to choose a partner, choose a potential wife, hell, just choose even a girlfriend, make sure you can say to yourself, this woman brings me peace, not chaos. She brings me happiness, not stress. If she qualifies with that, okay, move forward. If not, address it. And if it's not corrected, let her go. All right, so let's keep this thing going. And now number 4, and let me just say in advance, I admit that number 4 might be a little trickier. But number 4 is, can she get along with family and friends? Now, here's a huge caveat first. You got to make sure your friends and family ain't toxic. Like, if you got a toxic ass family or you got a toxic circle of people you roll with, we cannot use them as a barometer and to judge or to determine if your girl or this potential partner is someone you should be with. Now, listen, I ultimately believe that you've got to make your decision based off of how you and your partner interact. And so if you two have a connection, if she brings you that peace that we talked about, if you're able to talk to her, if she respects you, and the other things that we mentioned, I would never want you to not be with her because friends or family have their reasons. Because again, friends and family can be biased, all right? So sometimes it's not about them being toxic, so to speak, but they have their own bias. It may be a cultural bias. It may be a bias as far as the class that she's in, okay? There's various biases that people have. Hell, they may have want you to be with this ex-girlfriend that you're no longer with because they liked her so much. So now they're going to basically pass on anyone else you bring them. So we have to be mindful of those concerns or issues that might arise when we're considering friends and family in our decision. But outside of those issues, it is important to see if she has a personality that can go well with the people around you. Because again, if you're going to be with this woman in the long term, and those family or friends are important to you and are a part of your life that you don't plan on getting rid of, all right, then we got to make sure the whole thing can come together and flow together well. And it's not even just that. It's also a matter of, because some people, they may be able to quote unquote coexist, but they won't necessarily always like each other. I think the important part is that they can coexist without it being a problem, drama, issues, so on and so forth. But also going even further than that, I think another aspect to consider is that, and you can extend past family and friends, people in general. I've seen situations where the woman acts all sweet to the guy, but she's a big B to everybody else, all right? She is just a tyrant, and she is just extremely difficult and hard to be around. And so now that's a red flag, because what that says to me is she may be great at playing the game with you, but her true character is showing with other individuals. So you've got to make sure that the woman you're choosing isn't just a good woman or good person around you. She's a good woman, good person in general. And so how she engages with other individuals, how she gets along with them, is going to help you see that. Because then I would argue, if she is a pleasant, loving, positive, peaceful woman to people in general, then there's no reason to believe she won't be able to consistently be that with you. But again, if she's this negative, nasty woman to people, best believe that's going to show up in your relationship at some point. Best believe, no matter how sweet she's acting right now, that ugly face is going to rear its head, or however you say it, it's going to show itself in your interaction with her. So you've got to be mindful of that and evaluate her overall character, not just with you, but with other individuals or with family and friends as well. So now we come to number 5. And number 5 is she needs to respect or share your values. All right. So listen, another problem I've seen with men is choosing women who they are not truly on the same page with, that you guys don't have the same values. Now, listen, I think when people hear values, they think about political affiliation, they think about religion, they think about, do we want kids or not, family values. They think about those things. And yes, those things play a role and they're important. But I need you to consider your values even going beyond that. So one example I'll use is, let's say as a man, you believe in healthy living, all right? You believe in taking care of yourself, eating healthy, exercising. That's important to you. So now you meet this woman, and she's a beautiful woman. But to her, healthy living it's pointless. She's going to eat what the hell she wants. She hasn't seen a gym since she took an Instagram photo in there just for a post. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the only time she's in the gym. Like, she does not care about the things that you care about. Now, listen, initially, that may not cause a clash. But in the long run, can you live with that? Can you be okay with a woman who doesn't respect or share the values that you have when it comes to that kind of a lifestyle? In most cases, it's going to become a problem. And what people don't realize is the disconnect in values like that. And we can use other examples, but let's just stick with this one for right now. That disconnect then can turn into resentment, all right, or annoyance. That annoyance turns into a bad attitude. That bad attitude turns into friction in the bedroom. That turns into disrespectful communication. Do you see what I'm going with here? It snowballs. So we have a tendency to say, that's not a big deal. I can live with that. But you don't realize that it's that small issue that becomes bigger issues later. So it's important as a man to establish, what kind of relationship do you want? What kind of life do you want to live with your partner? All right. I see too many men letting women dictate to them. All right. And trying to fit into their value system rather than what's your own value system, and find the woman who simply connects with that. Don't try to conform to other people's values because you just see a woman that you like. Nah, what is important to you? How do you want to be living? You know what I'm saying? Another quick example, and I'm going to make a whole video about this, but like, if you're a man who wants to live a traditional relationship where you believe in being the provider and that woman being a homemaker and taking care of you in that way, right? There's no reason for you then to try to make it work with someone who's a modern woman who feels like, I shouldn't have to be home. I ain't taking care of these kids like that. I ain't cooking for you. Like, why would you then try to force the issue with someone who doesn't share your values? That doesn't make sense. And you don't need to be complaining about women who have those values. If that's what she wants, let her live her life the way she wants it. And you focus on living your life the way you want it and find the woman who aligns with you. So it's important to understand and accept that you have to have shared values and respected values if you're going to have a healthy and successful relationship. Now we get to number 6, and to me, this is a big one. all right? Can you enjoy her without sex? So here's the thing. We all know sex is a very important part of a relationship. And if you've been following me, you know as a man of God, of course, ideally, I'm gonna laugh, but ideally, we would love to wait till marriage, right, guys? I mean, that's the way to go as believers, right? But we also understand that that doesn't always happen. And many of you and you know, people in general are going to interact sexually, all right? However, too many people have been blinded by the sex. Too many people have gotten attached to individuals, and specifically in this video, too many men have gotten attached to women because of sex, because of accidental pregnancies due to sex. Whatever the case may be, the sex has created an unhealthy attachment. But if you're trying to choose the right woman, especially a woman you can marry, then you've got to evaluate, can you enjoy her without sex? You, as a man, need to be intentional to give yourself a period of time where you take sex off the table. You've got to be able to see what you have here outside of that, because a relationship is not going to be sex 24/7. All right? It's probably one of the smallest percentages of time within the relationship, if we're going to be real about this. So you're going to spend way more time talking to this woman. You're going to be spending way more time just chilling and hanging out with this woman. Can you enjoy that? A lot of men get with women, even marry women, never truly evaluating how much they enjoy her away from the intimacy. And so even if you're in a relationship right now and you guys have already been sexually engaging, listen, it's nothing wrong with saying, hey, you know what? For the next 2 weeks, 3 weeks, month, however long you think you can make it, all right? But at least some period of time to say, yo, let's take sex off the table for a period of time and really evaluate what we have here. If we're trying to be serious about if we can move forward with this person, we've got to see what we got here. If you can enjoy her without sex, awesome. We can work with this. If you realize you can't stand her outside of thinking you're about to get some, she needs to go. We wasting our time. So again, give yourself an opportunity to evaluate that. If you're just starting to date someone, this is why it's good to wait. I know that many people want to get right to it to evaluate the sex, but that's not more important than evaluating the character, evaluating the vibe, evaluating, do we have a real connection here? Let's establish that first if we're trying to have serious and successful and healthy relationships. And now, last but not least, one quick thing, one more time, get your copy of the book, He Who Finds a Wife. Click the link in the description of the comment section or go to www.hewhofinds.com. So again, last but not least, she needs to be positive and loving. So I've said this in various videos before. I remember meeting a guy and he said to me, he married a woman who was a dream killer. All right. This woman was always negative. This woman did not support him. This woman did not believe in him. All right. So it kind of goes back to she brought him stress, not peace. But again, it's peace and lovingness and positivity. As a man, negative energy will destroy you. All right. It will derail you. It will knock you off your purpose. And it will really set you down the wrong path. You've got to make sure that you're with a woman who knows how to maintain positive energy, not just positive in a moment, but is more consistently positive. Now, granted, you might meet a woman right now, you really like her, you guys are vibing, but maybe she struggles in that area. I'm not saying she can't be the one at some point. What I'm saying to you is that this needs to be addressed before you can move forward with her. She's got to get to a healthier place. For a lot of people, that means healing. And I say people because it ain't about just her. I want you to make sure you heal as a man. You got to make sure that, yes, the responsibility of positivity is not just on the woman. All right. Though we want to make sure we are only choosing women who can do that, who understand and embrace being positive and loving. As a man, you still also have to make sure you're not making things harder by bringing toxic energy into the relationship. So you've got to make time to heal. Go to a therapist, go to a coach. Do not be afraid to get help. All right. As men, our emotional health is important. And it's not just about the woman or relationship. It's about your quality of life. It's about finding your purpose. It's about being more successful in your life. Because those who have not healed will struggle. Those who have not healed will find themselves engaging in unhealthy behavior that can then snowball into worse things. All right. So do not neglect the need to do that, and do not wait for a woman to carry that burden. But yes, make sure she is being able to walk in that positivity and walk in that loving nature. Essentially a woman who can be feminine. You know what I'm saying? Because you're going to need that. And some of you may not realize that right now with where you're at, because you're dysfunctional from within. Because you're toxic, you don't understand the importance of this, which is why once you resolve your inner demon, so to speak, when you address those things, you will see much more clearly the brokenness or the toxic energy someone else brings, and you will see more clearly why you need to steer away from that if you're trying to have a successful relationship and an overall successful life. Now, I'm going to add one more bonus to this whole list that you've got to consider when choosing the right woman or picking the right woman. She's got to respect your purpose and align with your purpose. So here's the thing. Now, of course, this starts with you finding it. And as a man, you've got to go on that inward journey to figuring out what you need to be doing in your life, the path you need to be walking. That's step number one. But then once you're there, you cannot entertain or be with women who pull you off of that. You cannot be with or entertain women who expect you to put your purpose second to them. I believe in making sure that your partner is a priority, but they do not get put above your purpose. Never that. Because one, that's not good for you. And the crazy thing is, even if you gave into her and prioritized her over purpose, she would then lose respect for you. She would then lose attraction to you. All right. So there's a lot to discuss with that. This requires a whole separate video by itself, but I just want to throw it in as a bonus. You got to make sure that you find your purpose and then choose or pick the woman who respects it and aligns with it. Hey, thank you for watching this video. Be sure to check this one out right here, and I'll see you there. Listen, when it comes to women, they want a lot of things. But the reality is that there are certain things they need that you have to be willing to embrace. And so I'm going to lay out for you the 5 things a woman needs from her man.